Right now, though, a story you're seeing first on WUSA 9. Because of our reporting, a Virginia girl's murder is prompting changes on Capitol Hill. Good evening, I'm Leslie Foster. The killing of a young girl revealed concerns about the way caseworkers investigate child abuse claims. Today, a congressional committee came together and passed legislation to address those challenges. Investigative reporter Laura Geller has Heaven's story.
If you ask those who loved Heaven Watkins to describe the little girl, they'll tell you she was just the sweetest. They'll also tell you they believe the setup of the Child Protection System, or CPS, was not able to protect the 11-year-old. ABC. Heaven Watkins lived and died in Virginia, but today her name and story echoed through the halls of Congress. Virginia Representative Bobby Scott chairs the committee responsible for making changes that could save the lives of children.
By breaking down barriers to information, we can prevent children like Heaven from slipping through the cracks.
Heaven's story begins in Minnesota. In her 11 short years, court records show she suffered unimaginable abuse. Minnesota authorities were so concerned they removed Heaven from the care of her mother, LaToya Smith. For over a year, the little girl lived with her aunt, Sharonda Orridge.
Heaven had a spirit that matches her name, Heaven.
Eventually, the courts allowed Heaven to go back to Smith, and the family moved to Virginia. In February of last year, Smith, her boyfriend, and Heaven got on the radar of Virginia social workers. Heaven's hand was burned so badly she needed skin grafts. Smith claimed it happened in an accident, and authorities left Heaven with her mother. We don't know if Virginia caseworkers knew about the Minnesota history when they made that decision. No one will say. 3 months later, police found Heaven beaten to death. Here's the thing. Even if Virginia CPS wanted to check abuse records in Minnesota, there's no easy way to do it. The Stronger Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act, or CAPTA, that is making its way through Congress, changes that. It requires the Department of Health and Human Services to create a national interstate data exchange system. The program would allow states to share information from their child abuse and neglect registries with other states. That way, caseworkers would have more background when making these life or death decisions.
Had this data exchange system been in place last year, it is likely that we would have prevented the tragic death of Heaven Watkins.
Heaven's mother pled guilty in the case. Her boyfriend is still awaiting trial. Now, almost a year after Heaven's death, this bill could be the little girl's legacy as it heads to the House floor.
Looking at her circumstances and knowing that she deserved better and other kids deserve better, and they will get better because of this.
Laura Geller, WUSA 9.
In Virginia, Governor Ralph Northam signed Heaven's Law back in March. It requires CPS workers to check for records in other states when investigating a child abuse claim. This new national system, if it's enacted, would make that task easier.